Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's crypto uh, crypto information call. um, my name is Randall Copeland, and I have been in crypto since some of you guys already know me, but for those of you that don't, I've been in crypto for about 3 years. I started out in mining, and then mining got decentralized with companies offering cloud mining. So then I transferred over to do that because electricity was a lot cheaper and it was a lot more profitable for me to do so. So I got the CEO of what is now Hashflare and what was then Hash Coins at the time to help me set up a data server and start mining crypto or Bitcoin a few years ago, and that has turned into a seven-figure income for me currently, between mining and investing alone. So this has been a really profitable, long, um, beneficial journey for me, but I've made some mistakes along the way, like everything. And from those mistakes, I learned a lot that helped me do what I do now. So Devin is one of my close business partners, and she's also been very successful in this sector of business. And so I'll pass it over to her.
Hey, I think I've met most of you guys before. There's a couple that I don't know. My name's Devin. I live in Branson, Missouri. I'm a real estate agent by day. I got started in crypto in July, basically because I heard about it from a friend who had started investing, and they were using like a trading club. And I thought I'll take a little bit of a risk. I'll take one commission check and invest it in this trading club and just kind of see what happens. And it worked really well. And then I was hooked. So fast forward, like, what has it been? 6-7 months now. I'm making more money in crypto than I am in my real estate job, which is pretty sweet. And I've diversified quite a bit. I'm still using a couple of the trading clubs, and they're pretty predictable. I have a couple mining contracts, and I like those because they're fairly predictable. And Randall has helped me with a couple different ICOs in the last few months, and I've done really well. And some altcoins too. I've had some really good luck. Like, I bought one coin at a penny that went up to 25 cents, which is freaking crazy. So I turned, a tenth of a Bitcoin into a couple Bitcoin in a few weeks. And yeah, that's the Cliff's Notes version of my story. And then we'll let Matt Tapia introduce himself.
Hey, so I know pretty much everyone on here, I guess, and you might have been on last week's call. So I've been in this for 2 months. I hesitated probably around the summertime in getting involved, and then I saw Bitcoin explode. I ended up calling one of my good friends who I figured his son would probably know about cryptocurrency, and I didn't realize it, but he was already hooked up with Randall and had shared some of his success in a short period of time. Probably the most appealing thing was my friend Brian, who got hooked up with Randall, couldn't explain any of it to me, but he was showing me how much money he was making. And what I did was basically I got an introduction to Randall, who was speaking another language, but over the course of, a month or two of having explained in layman terms and watching a couple of videos and creating a community where we can all ask questions, I've started to get the hang of it, and it's been pretty profitable. There's some exciting stuff we'll talk about. I've cashed out almost an entire ICO today on a weird exchange that I had to do a couple of videos on, but I'll show you those profits. One of the reasons I cashed that ICO, which is an initial coin offering out today, is because Randall has picked a new one. And some of you might know what initial coin offerings are. I'll probably let Randall explain that, but it's probably one of the most profitable and lucrative aspects of cryptocurrency. Along with that, I do mining as well with Hashflare and Titan. I hold on to Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Litecoin here and there. But there's a strategy that Randall has been doing and Devin has been doing, which is investing in ICOs, cashing out, putting a portion into mining, putting the rest back into another ICO. And it just kind of creates this roaring engine that creates momentum, and it just really it snowballs. So Randall, you want to explain what an ICO is and how you pick them maybe?
Yeah, sure. So the process of picking an ICO is, for me, takes two to 3 hours. But basically what I do is, in this community, we kind of have a lingo or a jargon that is exclusive to the industry itself. And so moving forward, if I say anything, just follow up that you don't understand, or if I say a term that you don't understand, just follow up with me after the call, and for clarification, I'd be more than happy to clarify for you. So basically, an ICO is an initial coin offering, and in this industry, in order for these forms of currency, which is what they are on paper, to be legal, they have to. We can't call them a stock. We can't call them. We used to not be able to call them a security, but some companies are calling ICOs or these coins securities. So basically what it does is it makes what's happening legal. It makes the decentralization of different forms of currency legal. So basically these are the same as stocks, they're just not called stocks. And so the reason why it's so profitable right now is because you basically have a niche market that most of the mainstream public, over 99% of people, which is, a typically used pseudo statistic, but I think in this case is very accurate, don't know about cryptocurrency. So like if you approach 10 people on the street and say, hey, what do you think about Bitcoin? Chances are, one or maybe two at this point would know. Most likely less would even know what you're talking about. So the reason I bring that up is because it kind of sheds light on the opportunity that we have in this niche market. Because the mainstream media, because of the decentralization of Bitcoin, is trying to steer people away from it, while at the same time all of these investors, like myself and some of you on the call, we have access to a market that the mainstream public doesn't even know about and doesn't really even have access to. And it takes a whole new level of learning and due diligence to even be able to contend in the market itself. So anyway, that's kind of what we're trying to make available to everybody. Yeah. So an initial coin offering depends on basically someone gets an idea and they want to use the blockchain to launch their idea, which is what all of this is based on. They will write everything down in a white paper and they'll create a digital currency. And the digital currency is basically money used to launch the venture without calling it a stock or whatever. And so the cool thing about this is the blockchain has allowed decentralization of the investment process. So typically if a company wants to launch in the United States, they'll have to get everything looked at. They'll have to get it approved in order to make it available to the international audience. But in this case, we automatically make it available to the international audience and all that. So every ICO has what's called a white paper, and in that white paper, everything about the coin is explained. What they're going to do with the investor money is explained. The innovative technology, as they would call it, is explained in the white paper. Usually there's a roadmap that says they're going to do XYZ within a certain time frame. And you can, if you know enough about the market itself or the sector of business, you know the probability of success, or at least I do, because I have enough experience looking at ICOs to determine that. So the reason why we make so much money is because an initial coin offering basically makes the stock or the new digital currency available to the general public for a very short period of time in order to get their money as an investment for the coin itself. Typically, when an ICO launches, you have 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes longer, a few months before it goes on the cryptocurrency exchange. The price that they offer the general public before the company launches, when they need that investor money, is usually uh, 3 to 4 times less than the price when it hits the market. So there's an inherent built-in 300% capital gain on just the process of investing or making your money available to them to launch their company before they go live or before their company even exists. And so the caveat with in relation to stocks is that since they call it a token, right? Lots of companies have tokens. You go in and buy something, they're like, oh, here's 3 plastic discs with faces on them. Next time you come in, you can redeem those for $5 each, and we'll all have a good time. I'll get repeat customer service, and you're a little bit happier because you got a better deal on your transaction. Well, so basically these companies are calling the investor money tokens, so it has no value. So the IRS can't say, okay, you bought stock or securities, because they say in their white paper these have no value, and that's just to get them through to the point to where they launch, and we're able to benefit off of that. And right now the regulations in the FTC and the federal government don't really have a way to combat that, and I'm sure they'll find a way within the next 2 years, but until then we have an opportunity that is unlike any other in the last 100 years, in my opinion. This is like the internet boom 2.0.
So it seems like some ICOs, will double in value, and then others can go 1,000%. And it really just depends on the hype of the ICOs, what it seems like. And there are about 5 that I'm in. Well, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I just cashed out one today. And some of them, if there's not a tremendous amount of hype, the worst case scenario, you'll get 175% on your initial investment, which is tremendous. I mean, the best mutual fund on the planet would take 5 years to do that. And so I'll give you guys kind of an example. I'm going to turn this. Maybe you guys can see that. Maybe not. Okay, so co-vesting, excuse me. Well, you can't see that at all, can you? Okay, so co-vesting, I might have to pick up the computer, was an ICO that I put money into, about $4,200 in the beginning of January. And the reason I did that one particularly is I didn't have a lot of patience and I wanted to participate. I saw Randall turn $22,000 into about $220,000 with Electronium in November, right before I got in. And so I wanted to contribute an ICO and get the experience. So co-vesting, right, which I invested in the beginning of the month, was supposed to go live on an exchange called HitBTC on Saturday. They delayed it to this morning, and then once again they delayed it again, only they didn't give a specific day, they gave a week. That happens to be the week that my wife is going to have a baby. I probably won't be able to watch this regularly, so I chose a different exchange that it was already on. They didn't have a tremendous amount of volume, but I didn't want to be greedy. So I'm going to pick up this computer and show you my little whiteboard here. And if you look there, that'll show the individual trades that I've done to cash this out. I started with 2,952 co-vesting tokens. This is harder than I thought it would be. I still have 233 of them left, which would be about a value of $473. And I have sold them for Litecoin and Ethereum. Basically, I've turned $4,200 into $7,237 during the worst month of the year for cryptocurrency. So,
good job, Matt.
Well, thank you. The only reason that I selected the ICO is because Randall told me it'd be a good one. So the nice thing is, if you don't have any skills in reading white paper or doing research like me, all you have to do is get on this call and ask a few questions and throw some money at something. So I'm really glad to know that during a month I'm laid off anyways, made $3,000. And some of you guys, chipped in a little bit on this because you were unsure of the process of contributing in an ICO, which is kind of complicated, but that's why we did a video on the site, and that's why we're doing this call. So if you send me your Ethereum addresses after this call, I'll go ahead and shoot out your profits to you.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. All right. Thank you for sharing all of that, Matt. I sent out in the chat window Brian Hood's blog. He wrote, unbeknownst to me until he shared it with me, Brian had written a blog post about our experience with Electronium, and so it's kind of it's pretty cool, you know, to be able to help a friend like that. When Brian reached out to me and I was like, he's like, what's up with this Bitcoin thing? And I told him, I was like, man, this is crazy. Brian's one of my best friends. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, we need to get you invested in it as soon as possible. And so anyway, he convinces his wife to cash out 20,000, and maybe this is personal information, but he took money out of his 401k, and the goal was to get it back in there within 90 days so that the penalty wasn't paid. And I felt like that was something that we could do. And so we invested in an ICO called Electronium, and the pre-ICO price for their token was like 9/10 of a cent. So we bought 2.4 million shares at 9/10 of 1 cent, which, you know, is roughly $22,000 collectively. And when it went live on the exchange, we sold at 11 cents. So we made $280,000 on a $22,000 investment. And then a week later, it shot up to 21 cents. So like, it was like a 2,500% gain on the initial investment, and we didn't get that. We only got like the 1,500%. And Brian and I were a little bit sad, like, man, we could have got 2,500%. And then I'm like, Brian, like this is ridiculous. We're crying over, you know, that we only got 1,500% return on our investment. So that strategy has kind of evolved into this new strategy where these ICOs are popping up all the time, and not all of them are good. So you got to sift through the white paper, but what we try to do is get into one ICO a quarter. And by doing so, we compound the return. So by my calculations, in order to keep it conservative, the average ICO pays me back 300% return on my investment. So basically, if we can flip one every quarter, we have in our, let's say $20,000 times 3 to the 4th power, right? So now we're investing in powers, not in percentages. And I don't know if any of you guys took like basic algebra, but you know, 20,000 to the times 3 to the 4th, I think is 10,000 times 3 to the 4th is 2.37 million, if I'm not mistaken. So anyway, so yeah, that's where we're at in the strategy, and that's how I've crossed the 7-figure threshold, is by utilizing these strategies with ICOs. So when the money comes in, then it's like, well, you know, this is a lot of money. What do we do with it? And I get nervous because it's like, you know, like there's like 5 of my house in this account. I don't want to mess it up, right? So mining is a great way to diversify your investment. So we put money back into mining, and what that does is it increases our passive residual income, because most of these mining companies pay out daily, and we can. Matt mentioned Hashflare. We can make those. A lot of these companies have been vetted because we've been dealing with them for the last few years. So we have access to all of these if you have any questions. But that increases the passive residual income, and it allows you to diversify. And there's also other platforms which, due to regulations, a lot of them are a little bit uncertain right now. So compliance is the big focus right now in the community to make sure a company's compliant before we put money in it. Mostly because the federal government has decided to intervene on the cryptocurrency world, because they don't like the fact that that the transparency is not there for them, and therefore they're not going to get their tax money. So yeah, the Rothschilds are pissed off about it, maybe. But so next, Matt, you had mentioned that. Okay, so we'll go back. We'll go into our current ICO pick from here, if that's something that everybody would like to. So I can just kind of dive into an ICO by actually looking at one and going on the website. And I'll do my a share screen, not my Facebook. Here, I'll get to the screen first. Here we go. Okay, so this is the current ICO pick that I have, and so basically, when I'm looking at these, there's 20 days left. Like I said, when you get in on an ICO, they have just this short window of time where they're trying to raise enough money to launch their company. So this company wants to use blockchain to decentralize employee recruitment. So basically, instead of having monster.com and all of these websites that are centralized, they'll use the blockchain to decentralize the hiring process, so that basically your one profile can be available to everybody all at once through one platform, as opposed to many. And so there's 20 days left to invest in this particular ICO. So if we go to the token sale, now it's gonna be hard to basically explain why this is a good investment, but there's 5 or 6 different websites that I use that actually rate ICOs on their on 3 main factors. The first being hype, right? So hype is important because people in the community are basically have built up a good sentiment about it. They're excited that it's going to launch. They're excited about the potential that whatever ICO has in making a change or providing a service that isn't currently available. For example, there's another ICO that is like Uber, but it's for parking spaces. So like in places like New York City, you'll have an app, and in the blockchain, people can rent out their parking spaces. So you pull up the app, you don't have anywhere to park, you're just driving around the block in New York, and then all of a sudden, you get access to a parking garage for a condominium because someone's on vacation, and they're basically they could lease that to you. So that was another use of the blockchain, another ICO, and another investment that I thought was pretty good. But basically, this is something to look at. It's rating really high in the community right now. So on a scale of 1 to 5, it's rating like a 4.2, 4.3. So yeah, so that's basically what an ICO is. And so if I was going to invest in this ICO, I would start an account, and then they have like a red contribute now button, and I would put in my email and password. Let me see if I would put in, and it's okay if you guys see this because this is just where I send money to. So basically, I would create a account, and then that would in turn allow me into program. And then this is an Ethereum address. So this is basically a wallet address. So this is where I would send money that I want to invest. I would send it to this. And Matt has this process down pretty well. So 1 Ethereum gets you 2,100 shares. And based on all the components, the ratings on this ICO, I would say that this will probably yield 200 to 300% on launch day. So, and it's that easy. Like, it's like the internet, but it's like this is like investing in websites and stuff during the 80s. it's crazy. And you know what we'll do is we'll continue to do these calls and we'll track these ICOs. We're gonna be investing in this one. We'll continue to track them and we'll show how the investment is progressing. And if you guys want to get your feet wet, you can just basically watch the whole process happen, and we can, from A to Z, we could show you how much we invested and how much we pulled out. And so, yeah. And go ahead, Matt.
And I wanted to add, it really is that easy, but the process of buying Ethereum, sending the Ethereum over, getting your tokens back, and not making a mistake is not easy, right? And so it's really important not to go it alone. There have been a couple times where, Randall wasn't doing something and I tried to do it and it worked out, but there was about, 6 hours of frustration where I thought my money was lost in cyberspace. And that has been one of the things that's kept me from doing this in the past. So one thing I want to mention is, like, there are also, and not to scare everyone, all right, but there are also hackers that will make sites that look very similar to the site you want to contribute money on, right? The difference will be in the URL address, and maybe, the period will be moved inside of the word instead on the outside. And it's really important to use links that somebody else has used that successfully to make sure you're not getting onto one of those sites. So one of the things I always do is I get a referral link from Randall or Devin or Skylar or somebody that's already contributed, just to make sure that I'm not putting my information in there. And the only reason I'm sharing that is, as long as you're following the process that people have done that are successful with it, there will be no hiccups. And I think that's what the importance of the community here is. So, like, if you brought anybody in and they want to contribute, like, give them your referral link, right? And you'll also get anywhere between 5 and 10% of what they contribute as a bonus as well. But I think that's really important just for a safety precaution, but also, you end up getting free money.
Hey, Randall or Matt, a lot of the ICOs that we've been looking at lately are they're Ethereum based, and they require an ERC20 wallet. Could one of you kind gentlemen maybe go through what it looks like to use myetherwallet, what myetherwallet is, because it's access to the Ether blockchain, and kind of walk through the process of setting up a new myetherwallet and point out everything that's important that people need to save. Because I was just on the phone with one of our friends, Micah, I think it was the other day, that bought into Naga, that we all bought into, and he didn't save the key for the Ether wallet that he used, and he just lost his tokens because he couldn't access them anymore. So would one of you guys share your screen and walk us through that?
You want to do that, Randall, or you want me to? I don't think we can hear Randall.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay. I need to pull it up here. Okay. Okay, so when you go to the myetherwallet homepage, it's pretty simple. They have it. It'll basically, when it notices that your IP address has not accessed their website yet, it will make you hit OK on a bunch of stuff, and they're just basically giving you a disclaimer on their website and what it's about and how it works, kind of. So, and then you'll get to this screen under the tab that says New Wallet, and you'll just enter a password and click Create New Wallet. So we'll do put in a password, click Create New Wallet. Now, what that will do is it will create a key store file, which is basically the keys for your wallet. and that is the file that you want to save, probably on a thumb drive in cold storage, so that there's no network access in it, because if someone gets access to this file, they'll be able to take money out of your wallet. So we would download that file, but since I'm just creating a wallet that I'm not going to be using, I won't be downloading it. And then, well, actually, I think it might make me download it. It did before this lit up. Then you click I understand and continue. And then this private key also, since we're on a call, if someone, this is another code that you don't want anyone to ever see, because they can get right into your wallet and take your money. And since I'm creating a new wallet, this, I would never use this now, just because on a call, someone could hit control print screen and check in every week, and if money's ever in it, they could steal it without me knowing who did it. So you can either save it on your computer, or you can print your wallet out. Oh, yeah, it won't let me go back either. Okay, so since I didn't save that key, that wallet is now inaccessible to me. But basically, here, I'll make a new one just so we can go through to the create new one, download, I understand. So if you save this private key, right now I'm just going to copy it because I'm only using it temporarily. And you might notice there's people saying online like, oh, this system isn't secure, my money got stolen, and they're talking about MetaMask. And that's just because if anyone sees this, even for a brief second on a video call like this, or on, hey, can you help me with this? And then they just show you their private key, like, anybody who sees it can steal your money that's in that particular wallet. That's how important it is that nobody see it. So I'll copy that. And then once your wallet is created, which is pretty much what I did, you save your private key. And then with your private key, you then have access to your wallet itself. So when I come back to my Ether wallet, instead of going to new wallet, I go to send Ether and tokens, and then private key. And there's other ways to do it. MetaMask is an interface, but I'll keep it simple. If you just go to private key and you enter your private key and click unlock, that unlocks that particular wallet. And from there you can send Ethereum, receive Ethereum to that address, and that's what gives you access to that wallet itself. Since there's no Ethereum in here, there's not much I can do with this, but if you were to send, you would just put your destination wallet address here, the amount, and then gas limit is something that's kind of complicated, but basically what it is it's how much money are you willing to add on top of your transaction to speed up the transaction itself. It's basically a bonus that you're providing to a master node or the people that control the network to give your transaction priority in the ledger or in the network. And so that's pretty much it. It's fairly simple. Where people get confused is there are a lot of people that use MetaMask, and for a while, for some, it's unclear whether myetherwallet is separate from MetaMask. Basically, myetherwallet allows you to get into any Ether wallet with the private key, so I can access the same wallet that I have in my MetaMask, which is a Google Chrome extension. I can access the same wallet in my Ether wallet as I have in my Google Chrome. So my Ether wallet allows you to go into any wallet if you have the private key. So you can, no matter what system you're using, you can access that wallet through this platform too. So it's not multiple wallets like some might think. Is that, does anyone have any questions about this? And Justin, are you still on?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing?
Hey, good mate.
Justin's a friend of mine from Australia. Me and him, when I was doing international consulting for Halliburton in the oil field, I worked with him. He's from Papua New Guinea. Originally, he works in Australia as a. Are you still working in Australia, brother?
Yes, yes.
Man, it's good to hear your voice, man. We'll have to catch up after this.
Yes, yes.
Oops.
So this. Okay.
This Mark. So do you always add the gas limit?
Yeah, if you don't, your transaction could take anywhere from 3 hours to 6 hours. The Ethereum network is really fast, compared to Bitcoin. Which if the Bitcoin network's congested and you use a bad like, for example, Hashflare, the company that I don't want to go too far into this, but sometimes it can take, it took 8 days for one transaction to go through that I had sent in the Bitcoin network. In the Ethereum network, a bad transaction would be a 6-hour transaction or an 8-hour transaction. But the more money that you put in that gas, Mark, the faster that transaction will go, because you're basically giving money away to make it go faster.
So how much would you put in? Is it a percentage?
So right now, with the current network congestion, a fast transaction, which would take about 3 minutes or less, would take 200 to 250,000 gas at a gas price of 45, which is probably French to most of you. But if you put 250,000 in there, that would be about $5 to $7 that you're adding on top of the transaction to make it go really fast. So typically, if I'm sending a small amount, I don't add a lot of money in. I might only put 100,000 gas. But if I'm sending 5 figures or more, I add a lot onto it so that it's really fast. That way, I have the security of knowing that that money is not just floating out there waiting for the transaction to be confirmed, like Matt was talking about earlier.
And I got one more question.
Okay.
On this ICO that's up and coming that we're talking about, this higher match, is the price stay the same, or does it keep going up as the 20 days gets near?
So the ICO price for the coin is 1 Ethereum for 2,100. So if the price of the stock itself, or the coin, I should say, is directly related to the price of Ethereum. Right now, the market is down, so now's a good time to get into this ICO, because when the price of Ethereum goes up to 1,300, you'll have a 30% gain automatically on the tokens that you purchased, not including the gain from the volume in the market itself on the exchanges.
Okay.
And I know, at first, it's really intimidating. The first ICO that I did, I was completely freaked out. I didn't really know what I was doing. And the first one I did, I bought with Bitcoin, so it was a little bit easier for me because I'd done some Bitcoin transactions. But the first one with Ethereum, I really didn't know what I was doing. But we all got up at 4:00 in the morning when it was launching on the exchange and got on one of these video calls, and they walked me through it step by step, which was awesome, because I think, just like Matt was sharing, there's a lot of people out there that really are interested in crypto, but if you just start Googling shit, it gets really overwhelming. It gets really overwhelming, and you don't know who to trust. And I'll say too, for the most part, the crypto space is completely dominated by nerdy dudes. And I feel a lot more comfortable.
Hey now.
I'm sorry, but it's true. I feel a lot more comfortable talking to somebody that I know personally, that I've built a relationship with.
Yeah.
And and now we're starting to see a lot more women come into the crypto space, which is really cool. So if you guys are interested in doing any of these, just stay engaged in our little community one way or another. We've got a Telegram chat. We do these calls. We're going to do them once a week, kind of change the times for whatever will work for people. And we'll help you through it. So I hope that helps, because I'm watching people's faces and there's a couple people that are like,
so Luke had a question on how do we send Ethereum from one wallet to another, which I thought was a really good question, because we did show how to open a wallet, but we didn't show how to send any. So Matt, I'm gonna send Ethereum from my wallet to yours.
Thank you.
like, I'll give you mine.
Make sure you send enough.
How much is enough? It's like meditating. There's never enough. Okay, I'm going to get it prepared.
Do you have my address?
No.
Okay.
And
do you want to send this to Coinbase or my Ether wallet? Maybe my Ether wallet, to show them how to get the Ethereum in to use as gas?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So okay. So over here, this is the wallet that I just made with a 0 Ethereum balance. Now I'm going to access my actual Ethereum wallet using the same platform. I've already entered my password for MetaMask, and I finally got my Universa tokens.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Me too.
Okay, so I have 0.76 roughly Ethereum in my wallet. So I'm not going to send from MetaMask. I'm going to send from my Ether wallet. So the first thing that I need to do is export my private key and use it in my Ether wallet, because that's how I showed you guys how to access your wallet. So I'm going to stop screen share so that I don't expose my private key, and then I'll jump right back in. And so those tokens that I was just talking about are from another ICO that I was waiting to issue their tokens. So typically, just as a side note, typically when you get into a pre-ICO, you're waiting for the tokens to arrive, and sometimes you wait a month, for your investment to pay out the tokens. So since Universa has issued their tokens, it's a sign that they're going to be going live on an exchange very soon, at which point I can sell those tokens for the average 300% gain on my investment. Someone wants into our meeting. It's Tim. He keeps getting kicked. Okay. So I'm going to get my private key. And I use really long passwords.
And I just wanted to add, I think most people will probably buy their Ethereum on something like Coinbase and then send it from Coinbase to my Ether wallet to participate in the ICO. So
yeah,
that probably and it would be the exact same process of putting in the address if you did that.
Yeah. Okay, I have entered my wallet. You always have to you always have to make sure that, and be careful that you don't expose your private key. Like, so I'm looking at the screen to make sure there's nothing, because like someone could just hit control print screen and then take all your money. Here we go. So I have you'll now notice that my balances match. So, and here and here, so we can see that everything matches up. So this, now I'm inside my wallet on my myetherwallet because I use my private key to enter. So I'll be sending money to Matt, so I'm going to need to know his Ethereum address. This here is my Ethereum address. So Matt, do you want to send that to me in Facebook Messenger? You're muted.
Is there any way I can just post it in the comments on this group?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at your screen though, aren't I? Let me see.
Yeah.
How do I stop that?
There's a box where you can exit full screen from Randall's screen share.
Oh, I just entered it. Hold on. Yeah, if I can do this, anybody can, okay? Hold on. I know. Let's see. Can you stop sharing your screen? Is that how I would do it? Okay.
It's not his fault. He's a Bulls fan.
I just went to Chicago. I didn't want people to know I was a tourist.
Yeah. Did Jordan pay for the Bulls? It was
Of course.
Pippen. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Jordan. I'm trying to remember when I was a kid. I used to love the Chicago Bulls.
Okay, I'm an idiot, so I'm going to get on Facebook and see if I can figure this out.
This
Wait,
is
here's
being
Messenger.
recorded, Matt.
Oh, okay.
No pressure.
Yeah. Hold on.
And so I also wanted to point out, typically when you get on a call like this, it's like, you're not sure, you're apprehensive, you're not sure what blood-sucking parasites are going to show up. You know what I mean? But so basically what we have here is Matt. Most of you are Matt's friends. A couple of you are my personal friends that I've worked with. A couple of you are friends that our family. So a couple of you are family of people on the call. So this community here, while you may not know everybody on the call, everybody is either close friends or family with someone on the call. And so we're kind of creating this group where we can trust each other, and we can trust the information that we share because of the relationships that we've established. And so that's why some of you might be wondering why, if I'm making as much money as I am, I'm doing these calls for free. And that's pretty much why. It's because it's been based on close relationships for this group and this call in particular.
I sent it to you on Messenger. I figured it out.
Yay! Now I can stop rambling. Luke. That's funny. All right. I'll get into Messenger here. All right, my myetherwallet. I'm in my wallet. Make sure my private key. One little mistake, and some guy in Bangladesh has a really good Christmas. Okay, so I'm going to be sending Ethereum to Matt. Matt just sent me his address. And so if I wanted Matt to send me money, I would send him my address. So I would just copy and paste this and send it to Matt. So basically it's like a bank account number, but it's coded. So I'll paste his address here. And then typically I check the first 3 and last 3 digits to make sure that I have the entire address, so I don't accidentally send Slumdog Millionaire my money. Skylar. Everybody's laughing. Okay. I'm just going to assume it's correct. So now you guys can see all the pages I'm creeping. So EO8 and OX2. EO8 and OX2. So I've confirmed it. So now I'll send 5 cents. No, I'm going to send a little more than that. So I'll send 0.1 Ether or 0.1. And then over here, you want to make sure that you have the correct coin selected. So Ethereum. And then the gas limit right now, 200,000 to 250,000 goes really fast. For the call, I'll do 250,000. I'm afraid if I click advanced data, it might show something I don't want anyone to see. I'll generate the transaction and send. And it's like, are you sure you want to give someone free money? And I say, yes, please be an idiot. And it says, your transaction has been broadcasted to the network. So when this shows up, if you're one of those people that's like, worried about the money or it's a lot of money, you can check your transaction status. And it says pending transaction found. So the transaction's pending. When I click on verify transaction, it says receipt status success. So it's already gone through. No, it's been received. My bad. It says 1 blockchain confirmation. So Matt, if you can just let us know when that comes through. And so this transaction hash basically tells you where your transaction is.
I just got $100.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude. Buy yourself a new basketball team outfit.
Hey, now that's enough there.
Okay, that's how you send Ethereum. Does anyone have any questions?
There was a question posted in the chat about exchanging Bitcoin for Ethereum, and I responded, and then Chris responded too, that I guess you can do it directly in a blockchain wallet, which I didn't know, or you can do it on an exchange.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So Coinbase is a really commonly used company. Their customer service sucks because they have like this viral growth right now. But I've ran into a few problems with them, but they're far and few between. But right now the service companies are kind of sparse, so we don't have a lot to choose from. But in accounts like Coinbase and blockchain, apparently, which I don't use, so Chris and Devin would be able to speak to that. You can exchange your Bitcoin for Ethereum and Ethereum for Bitcoin. So if you have, go ahead, Devin.
Well, I've got my blockchain wallet open on my other screen, and I don't know how to do it yet, but I'll see if I can figure it out, and then maybe if I can figure out how to do it within the blockchain wallet that I have, I'll make a little video of it, and post it in the Telegram or something. But I don't know how to do it right off the top of my head. I'd probably have to ask Chris or Google it.
Okay. If you go on Coinbase and open an account, you can buy with a linked bank account. You can buy Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash in a transaction.
Yeah, I think the question. I think that the person that was asking, like, they have Bitcoin and they want Ethereum to buy into this ICO. So the easiest way to convert it.
So the way that I do it is I'll set up a US dollar wallet on my Coinbase, right? Which is one of the different accounts on there. And I think you have to send an image of yourself with a signature and your driver's license just to verify it. So what I'll do is I'll sell Bitcoin to my US dollar wallet, right? And then I'll buy Ethereum from my US dollar wallet. Today, I figured out that you can do it on GDAX with absolutely no fees immediately. So maybe I'll post a video on how to do that on our Q&A call. I figured it out today. You guys might know how to do it already, but I just was messing around on it.
Okay. Yeah, I think it looks like we have a couple people that would want to see some ways to get that done. So maybe if we can in the next couple days, make some little videos of us doing it, like a Loom video, and post it for those people that want to see. That would probably be really good.
I'll do it right now. I logged into my Coinbase account.
Okay, cool.
So I'll just screen share and walk you guys through that. So this is Coinbase's back office. And right now I have Bitcoin. I have 0.27 Bitcoin, and I will be turning this Bitcoin into Ethereum. So let's say I want to invest in an ICO and it only takes Ethereum. I need to turn my Bitcoin into Ethereum. So what I will be doing is I will be selling my Bitcoin. And right now the price of Ethereum, I think, is, what is it, 9 something? I guess it'll tell me. Actually, it tells me at the top of the screen. I'm covering it. No? There it is, yeah. $1,071. So we'll just do oh, that's USD. So I click on Ethereum. Well, first I want to sell Bitcoin, so I'll do 0.1 Bitcoin, which is 1,100.
You're about to buy it.
Thank you, Devin. Okay, now I'm selling 1132, so I'll click sell.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're going to sell it to your bank account.
That's right. I have to select my USD wallet. That's how you send money to your bank account. Yeah, in case anyone was wondering. So it'll go to my USD wallet. Thank you, Matt. All right, so you notice I put 0.1, and so the transaction fee is 0.0003 Bitcoin, $16.90. So confirm sell. So my sale was successful, so I view my dashboard, and now I have $1,000. It was instant. I have $1,000 in my US dollar account. So then, now that I've liquidated a portion of my Bitcoin, I will be purchasing Ethereum from my USD wallet, and I can just do buy max, which is just over 1 Ethereum, and then click buy USD Ethereum wallet. And that was an instant transaction also. So now I have 1 Ethereum and the difference taken from my Bitcoin. Now when I want to send this to an ICO to invest it, I will I would go to my accounts, and then I will just click send. And then just like Matt gave me his address, the ICOs have their own address for your account. I would put that in there, the amount, and then send it.
A lot of ICOs don't want you to send the Ethereum from Coinbase. They want it sent from ERC20.
That's right.
Wallets.
Yes.
So you want to zip it over to my Ether wallet and then send it from there so they can send the tokens back to my Ether wallet.
And that's really important because I just a few weeks ago sent $1,000 that way, and then when I looked into the fine print, so that I just sent $1,000 to, nobody. Well, they got it, but they told me. But anyway.
I had noticed on the group chat, I think it was sometime last week, that Marcia, you had some questions about Titan in some capacity.
I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
I did have a couple of questions about that as well. Just to see, myself and some friends have been talking about it. We've been kind of antsy, to what we kind of coined the phrase, throw some money at something, because once we got a little bit of taste of this, we got so excited about it. Like I got into several ICOs without the knowledge to watch for the open. I had these long-term investments in my mind, because I didn't have enough knowledge. So I lost out a little bit on that. But yeah, I've heard a lot of talk about it, very, very interested in it. But, I feel like such a novice that I'm like a sponge to this stuff. And this call tonight's been really cool because I realized I wasn't as behind as I thought I was. I thought I was absolutely crawling, but a lot of the things that we went through, I've already done, and I did them the correct way, thank goodness. And, I've had some help from some of your all's friends as well, that's really helped me. But yeah, really anxious to get a little more information on that and see what to do.
Okay. I'll share my screen.
Devin?
Yeah.
I'm actually 3 minutes into another call.
Okay. Do you want to can you make me the host and it still record?
I need to end the recording if
okay.
we're going to do that.
Why don't you, in the recording, and I'll drop my link in the Telegram chat or whatever. And then anybody who wants to hear like 15 minutes about Titan can jump on my channel. Or actually, can you put my channel in the chat?
I can stop it and still make you the host.
Okay.